Hello guys, welcome to another video of the SASS Bite-Sized-Tutorial, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Mixins feature in SASS. Now once you start getting really deep into programming and web development, it becomes pretty apparent pretty quickly how things like organisation, variables, partials are an ingrained crucial way of working for people when they're building complex projects. Now one of the things that annoys software developers is having to repeat themselves. So to counteract this repetition of code, popular mantras like the DRY principle, which stands for don't repeat yourself, and tools such as SASS Mixins, which automate repetition, are quite popular. Now CSS is anything but dry, and at times you might find yourself constantly writing out repeated rules, values or declarations, and we're constantly writing the same snippets of code for colours, fonts and frequently used patterns of styles throughout our style sheets. So using Mixins can really help with mitigating repetition of our code and enforce the DRY principle. So let's dive into VS Code now and make some mixins. Right guys, so we're back in VS Code, and as mentioned, we want to enforce the DRY principle and we don't want to repeat ourselves. So let's say, for example, here you've got these three boxes and we want to put a border around all three boxes and some padding and margin. Now normal CSS would require us to grab each of the box classes, so box 1, and just duplicate it 3 times. This would require us to go inside each of these and say border solid 2 pixels green, and then some padding in here, so 20 pixels and margin of 20 pixels. And as mentioned, we'd have to put all of these three properties inside each of the box classes, which isn't what we want. This isn't enforcing the DRY principle, and we're just repeating ourselves. Now with SASS, instead of having to write these three properties in each of the boxes, we can use a mixin. So to create a mixin, you first put the @ followed by mixin, and then we give it a name. We're just going to call this one box styles. And then what we do is we go inside the mixin and we just take these CSS declarations in here and paste them inside the mixin. And what we've done now is create the mixin. And what we need to do is insert this mixin inside each of the box classes. So the way we do that, we go inside each of the boxes and we do an @include followed by the name, so box styles. And as you can see in the browser now, we've got the styling of the mixin. So all we've got to do is just copy this and paste it inside each of the boxes. And now each of the boxes has that mixin style, so we don't have to repeat ourselves. We only need to write it once, and then all we need to do is just write the name. We want to reuse that mixin. Now let's just say sometimes we want our content to be in the middle. We can do this, so let's just create another mixin and call this one flex. And what we can do is say display flex in here, flex direction to column, and then justify content center and align item center. Then what we can do is go inside, just say for example we want to use this mixin for the second box, go underneath this, @include, and we can say flex followed by the parentheses, and you can see now the content of the second box has these CSS declarations, and we can use this mixin anywhere we like within our projects. And as you can see, we've enforced the DRY principle and it looks really good and neat. Now what we can also do is apply different styles to different bits of our content. So say we wanted the first box here to have a green background, and the second one to have an orange background, and the third box to have a red background. We can do that with mixins. So using the mixin we just created up here in box styles, we just pass a variable in here. So let's just call this one background, and then we go inside the mixin itself and let's write in here background color, and then apply the variable. Now what we do is we go inside the bit where we've included the mixin, so the @include in each of the boxes. Now we pass the value in here, so let's just say for this one we wanted it to be green, and for this one we want it to be orange, and for this one we want it to be red. And what's essentially happened here is this value has been passed into this variable, which has been passed into this property of background color, and that's why we're getting all the background colors in here. And those are mixins, guys, really helpful snippets of code which can help us in enforcing the DRY principle and can make our code more organized. And that'll be it for this video, guys. As always, if you like the content, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.